Food is fuel, not an emotional experience. The more we stray away from the romanticized connection to food, the easier it becomes to make better choices. We've been conditioned, trained by food scientists who design hyper-palatable, addictive products to crave and indulge without control. But when you eliminate these food-like substances, something powerful happens. You stop desiring them. Imagine breaking free from the cycle. No more fantasizing about the next indulgent. No more feeling trapped by cravings. No more emotional addiction to food. When you master this, everything changes. Your energy, your clarity, your self-discipline. And the best part, it doesn't just get easier, it becomes enjoyable. So start today, take back control, strip away the emotion, and redefine what food means to you. Coming at you from Kaji Vision Podcast Studios in Stamford, Connecticut. Welcome to episode 8 of the Dialed In Podcast. That's for Kendrick today on his big Super Bowl performance.
You're a little rusty on the intro.
The audience won't know we're deleting it. Unlike the last episode, they might have heard some mistakes, but hey, we got it all dialed in now. Happy Super Bowl Sunday, sir.
Super Bowl Sunday. You ready?
Yeah, I'm ready. I know you have a big cooking day ahead of you.
Not big cooking. I just like to take my time, make my cutlets the right way.
Making chicken cutlets? What's on your menu?
They're making a bunch of things, but I'm focusing on my chicken cutlet sandwich. I get nice bread from like a bakery. I make the cutlets how I make them. Try to use like cleaner breadcrumb.
Well, but your breadcrumbs have canola in them. Canola oil.
Cleaner.
What does that mean?
That, like non-GMO canola oil.
What's the brand?
I gotta pull it up. What's the brand?
I don't know.
I found it. There
I just don't know if I'll ever have canola oil again. I don't know when that will ever happen.
You need to follow the 90% rule.
I like 99. Can we get it to 99?
That's fine. Do 99.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay. Add up. You have that for Super Bowl on the year.
A 90.
It's 1%, 365 days out of the year. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I know.
It's all right.
I saw the documentary on seed oils staying in your body for 4 years. I'm like, I'm done with this.
I didn't watch it yet. Yeah.
Yeah. Pretty eye-opening stuff. Fed a Lie. Fed a Lie is the name of the documentary. I posted it on Dialed In Stories the other day. It's about a 40-minute documentary on the history of seed oils, talking about when they were first introduced in the country, how they were initially intended for as an oil or as an engine lubricant, you know, like, so not even in the food industry. And Crisco was the launch of this vegetable oil. That was the first product commercially. And
what were they saying? That what they used to process the oil?
Yeah, just the process of refining it, deodorizing it, and just blasting it at such high temperatures. It's just not meant for human consumption, but it's in every packaged food. It's crazy.
Well, let me hit you with my ingredients real quick.
Okay.
Brown rice flour, white rice flour, potato starch, tapioca flour, brown sugar, non-GMO canola oil, potato flour, sea salt, egg whites, yeast, eggs, and a little bit of guar gum. But it's the last ingredient.
Okay.
Whatever's the first ingredient is what's like from first to last is what's
the most
prevalent in the ingredients.
Today we're going to be doing organic chicken. Oh, I got Miller's Bio first order. So I just ordered from the farm that Mark's been talking about, Miller's Bio Farm. Ordered raw milk.
Nice.
Raw milk is unbelievable.
Yeah, it's awesome.
Unbelievable. I don't think you could ever say you've had milk until you've had raw milk.
No, and you have the luxury of like, you're having really good stuff. They're doing it really well there. Like, it's awesome. Because I've tried many different types. Their stuff is awesome.
Milk is a creamy flavor. I feel like raw milk epitomizes the word and the taste, like cream.
Yeah.
Is the essential cream flavor. I've been having it in my smoothies.
Mm-hmm.
It's a heavenly protein shake.
Yeah.
Heavenly. I've been having 2 a day, 2 glasses of raw milk a day with my smoothies.
Yeah, it's fine, dude. You're working out nonstop. You're just using all the fat, all the carbs, all the protein from it. It's awesome.
It's so much more nutrient dense than a pasteurized
It's
milk.
insane.
Yeah.
Yeah. It doesn't. They're doing like a very. They gotta look like a low, very low heat. And then the guy, I think I forgot what his name is. And then they test everything, the bacteria, and they upload the bacteria just to make sure, just to really like reassure everyone. But yeah, that's why I noticed one day I'm getting my raw milk and I'm putting it in my coffee right away when it's hot. And I'm like, what am I doing?
Does it curd or?
I'm pasteurizing the milk.
Oh.
No, you are. If your coffee's like really, really hot and then you pour the milk in, you're pasteurizing the milk. Especially if it's like really hot. So I just let my coffee cool off for a little bit and then I put it in.
It mixes fine?
Yeah. Uh-huh. I'd say the biggest, when I notice the milk doesn't mix well, is when I let it defrost and it's not fully defrosted, or I rush it, like defrosting it, because sometimes I'm trying to get the milk to my daughter. That's when it won't mix well, and when I pour it, it'll, curd and stuff. So I try to just let it like defrost the right way. I shake it, let it defrost more, and I shake it again, and it's usually good. Yeah.
And you said it'll stay good for like a week?
Yeah, it's usually like a week and a half. And I've had other ones and they'll go quick. Like you got 4 days, 3 days. And that's not necessarily like a bad thing that it's lasting longer. It's just I think they're doing a good job at making sure that with anything, the more like natural it is, there's good bacteria and there's bad bacteria, and things do attract bad bacteria as they sit. They're humid, so you want to be careful and watch. It's like with anything.
Yeah.
You open your yogurt and it's like, oh, does my yogurt smell? You know what I mean? So
I feel like I want to have raw milk in the house at all times. I'm going to be placing weekly orders.
yeah, it's really, really good. I do, like my daughter has raw milk, raw yogurt. I get all the raw cheese from there. It's awesome.
Just feels like us as humans should be drinking this. As it was going in my body, I don't know if it's the placebo effect, but I'm just feels like such a nutrient dense food.
I feel my stomach. There's been times where I've had. Sometimes I do the bread route with my father-in-law. I help him, and whenever I go on the route, just from being in like this big bread van driving, and I would get like a little nauseous and get like.
Do you get bloated just from being in a van full of bread?
Dude, I don't know what it is. Like I notice. I don't know if it's just that I'm just in this higher van, and sometimes like I'm looking at my phone and it's a lot of driving, but 11, 12 a.m. in the morning, I get like acid reflux, and as soon as I'd get home, just empty stomach, like I'm not feeling good, I just drink the raw milk, and it's insane. Yeah, it's unbelievable. That's like those are my Tums. Raw milk is my Tums. Yeah.
Nice.
So,
and I also got ground meat. I had it this morning. The ground meat was delicious. It tasted almost like sausage.
mm-hmm.
Do you get that flavor profile with the Miller's ground meat?
I don't feel like that with the ground meat. I feel like that with the burgers I get from them. They have like this like, I don't want to say gamey, just like this like farm taste to the burgers. I don't know what they're mixing with it. I don't think it's just ground beef.
I say sausage in a good way just because some of the sausage, it has that
Did you get the sausage?
pre-seasoned flavor to it. And I know this wasn't pre-seasoned, but it just had the texture and it was bursting.
Did you get the sausage there?
I did not.
Like I get
I got the
ground
beef sticks.
I get ground sausage and make like sausage patties. My wife will do it like for our daughter.
Mm-hmm.
Like that's what I give her for breakfast. And then you season it. There's like a certain seasoning you should do to kind of mimic like breakfast sausage.
Yeah.
But it's unbelievable. And that's in sausage, like pork, that's something you want to get clean like that. Because the fattier the animal is, the more toxins they're like storing, depending on what they're eating, what they're being fed. There's a huge documentary on like why pork has become so cheap.
Yeah.
and it's like this whole thing, and that's something that you don't want to buy cheap.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's bad.
Right.
Yeah.
So I had the ground meat with pasture-raised eggs from the farm this morning. I haven't been having 6 just to kind of conserve because I bought 3 dozen eggs. So I had four eggs with the ground meat today. It was delicious. And I got some chuck steak too. So I'll be hitting that up this week. And today going to go home, season that rotisserie chicken for the game. A little butter, salt, pepper, not much. And I'll have some carbs too because I know Sunday's my carb day. I have some sweet potatoes. And actually, I'm going to roast some chickpeas. I don't know if you ever had roasted chickpeas, but pretty much I'm going to cook them in beef fat, season them up, put them on a pan, roast them at 375 for 20, 30 minutes, and they become nice and crispy.
Nice.
So nice little chickpea snack. The packaged chickpeas you can find at the store are not clean.
Yeah.
I've looked at a couple of those. Got the gums in them, citric acid, stuff like that. But yeah, so I was happy about my first order from the farm. It won't be my last. And
any steaks? No, not yet.
just a chuck
Chuck.
steaks.
Yeah, do the stew with that.
But I've had steak the last 2 days. Friday night, 10 o'clock, I cooked a steak. Yesterday, I went and cooked a steak. I feel like I want to have steak every day.
It's just so like nutrient dense,
right?
I went down the rabbit hole of like what proteins, and I was looking into. We talked about this. I was looking into like what gets you the most zinc, because zinc is what really helps you like prevent getting sick. And I was like, all right, what gets you the most? And all the good quality red meat, beef, elk, it's just insane how much nutrients you get out of all those meats. And it's just because that animal is eating so much nutrition.
And there's a lot of nutrients that are found in animal meat that you can't find in plant foods, right?
No.
Like creatine, do you know any other ones?
Zinc is a big one. Like
iron, vitamin D3, it says, vitamin B12.
Zinc is a huge one.
Taurine, carnosine.
Creatine's a big one. There's a lot of stuff coming out showing how beneficial creatine is. It's
just crazy. Growing up, you think of the most healthy foods if you had like a list or a scale. Red meat was nowhere near the top. I look at it, I don't know, I'm just going on my intuition. I feel like red meat is the number one health food, in my opinion.
It can be, because it's the source. Remember I said the fattier the product is, the more you can be eating bad ingredients, toxins that animal's storing in their fat. So the cow that you and me are buying is much different than what you're getting in ShopRite. Then you're talking about cleanliness, like how long has that meat been sitting in the package at ShopRite? Where was it slaughtered? What was the stress of the animal when it was slaughtered? Like, that's a huge thing. Like, how inflamed was the animal? Because a lot of mass-produced farms are not taking care of their animals the right way. They're essentially like borderline abusing them. They don't live in a healthy environment. So it could be awesome. If you're active, it's going to help you recover. Like, you're getting a really good amino acid profile. It can be a huge gift. But to someone that is not eating clean stuff like that, the whole association that came with like red meat and heart disease, and it's that same thing I was saying to you about, is hydrogen water benefiting you? But I would assume that if you're drinking hydrogen water, you're probably doing 9 other things really healthy. So it's really that association that people are eating red meat. They're eating it with a whole bunch of heavy butter that's not good butter. So, it's the association. What are you eating that food with, so.
It's crazy how generations and generations, millions and millions of people, we all grew up. We all grew up trusting like the food system that was there, right? And eating ultra processed foods. And most of us nowadays are still not woken up to it. Only some of us are start to wait. I just woke up to this. You've been woken up for longer than me, but it's just incredible how all this time has went by, and it's like people have been in a dream, like a nightmare.
It's really hard, dude. The marketing, it's hard to beat the marketing.
They tricked everyone.
When I thought of it, I'm like, everyone was so into the oat milks, the almond milks, and you can get good ones, but more so the almond milk, not the oat milk. And then I'm like thinking about all this stuff, and I'm just like, they have programmed everyone to remove the most nutrient dense things from their lifestyle. Meat, go get a Beyond Burger instead. It's better for you.
124 ingredients.
Yeah, right. Which is fine. Like I'm cool with if you're vegan, especially for specific reasons. I'm cool with that. But it has to be done the right way. It has to be done the clean way. If you're vegan and eating Beyond Meat, like you might as well just go eat at, Burger King. You know what I mean? So, yeah, they've like really, it's impressive. They've marketed the whole stay away from dairy. You're talking about like an insanely high absorption protein that has a whole bunch of nutrients, that is a good source of fat and probiotic, like a yogurt. That's really good, like probiotic in there. Kefir, that's really good probiotic in there. And I've been doing this for 8 years, and I see people like the behavior. They're like, no, I can't have the dairy. Like it's just not good. And then, like I don't ever jump on someone when they say that. I kind of let time go by and almost like interview them, and I'm trying to like get things out of them. And then I'm like, people are saying they can't eat this stuff because they're really convinced that it's bad for them. But, what else are they eating throughout the week? They're getting an egg muffin from Starbucks. They're drinking a caramel frappuccino from Dunkin'. You know what I mean? And then people are drinking 3 times a week. So when I start thinking, I'm like, yeah, but you're consuming other really bad things like all of the time. That's not a problem. You know what I mean? But, some people have intolerance to whey and dairy products. So that's a different, story. Mm-hmm. But yeah, all those things are very, very, we're just very, I think, spoiled today. We don't have to deal with like, we were talking about this. There's so much food availability. You can go to any grocery store. Back then, like you didn't have a choice. Like you had to have 4 or 5 acres of land, and you had to have a cow or two, because that was like a huge source of food for your family. And you didn't have to worry about like, are we going to run out of food? This cow's going to grow up. We're going to get dairy out of it. And then eventually, we're going to get meat out of it, so, and it's clean stuff.
Sometimes I feel like I'm living on another food planet than everyone else now that I've made this full transition to Dialed In. And you're just talking about like restaurants, and you can go out to grocery stores, as I ride down Main Street in my town, I'm like, can't go to that restaurant, can't go to this store. There's nothing here for me. Yeah. Yesterday I'm reffing a game, see kids running in the gym with Doritos. I'm just like, I don't even know what that is anymore. Mm-hmm. I'm so far removed from this American food system,
It's like I try to really. The other day I told you I made ice cream. I had a good clean ice cream. There's like 3-4 ingredients in it. Like it's clean. There's like the plain Van Leeuwen, like their plain stuff, not all the crazy flavored stuff like the vanilla, and so I just did that. I had a really good peanut butter at home. I added that to it, and then I added my protein powder to it to like really get like the protein up. I've been pretty like sore and everything from working out. It's just I feel like we can have snacks and stuff for kids, and they can taste really good and be healthy. You know what I mean? I just think that we've gotten so far off of that path where it's like this. Oh, you can't do that. It's too crazy. Like it's not a big deal. Mm-hmm. But I just feel like we can make healthy, good tasting snacks that kids want to eat that are crunchy and stuff like that. So.
And when I say comments like that, I live on another planet. I'm speaking more about the products.
Yeah.
About the brands, about the companies. Yeah. Pizza as a whole can be modified in a healthy version. Yeah, Excuse me. I think we should get into some healthy versions of like America's most, consumed cheat meals, like cheeseburgers, pizza, fried chicken. You were talking about chicken cutlets. Mm-hmm. So one way to clean that up. I mean, I know you did breadcrumbs, but almond flour you could use as the crust.
A cleaner breadcrumb. The cleanest way would be finding a bakery that is putting 0 bad stuff in their bread, which you can find. You just have to find like a mom and pop type bakery. You get a whole bunch of bread. You use some of the bread at home. Maybe you're eating it with oil, eating it with like a good healthy butter, and then you get an extra one, and maybe the bread's like starting to go stale. When it starts going stale, you get all the breadcrumb off of it. Like that's how you make breadcrumb. So you can make it like really, really good if you want. It just takes a little bit more work. Like my in-laws do it. They get a whole bunch of bread, they scrape all of it, and they put it in a bag, and now we have a whole bunch of breadcrumb like for a while. So you can do that stuff. It's just like me, my schedule, me getting to the store that I went to. But you can get even cleaner breadcrumb than what I just said. Yeah. Mm-hmm. You can. It takes a little bit more effort. You can do all this, do everything from scratch. Mm-hmm. You can do it. Yeah. You know.
So chicken wings. How would you make those healthier if you were going to make wings tonight?
Chicken wings. Yeah. I mean, it would be like, all right, is the chicken really good? So it's like getting wings and stuff from like Miller's. You can get that. Mm-hmm. Then oil. That's the hard part because it's whatever oil that you are getting.
What are you going to use?
Even if you use, like, give me the, like, what would you want to use?
Well, I'm a little down on cooking with olive oil and avocado oil.
Because how you're going to make the wing, you're going to try to crisp it.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter what oil you're using, it's hitting its smoking point.
Air fryer.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. You could do that, but I would like the heat in the air fryer is definitely hot enough that whatever oil is on it, it's going to hit that smoking point.
Would you cook with ghee on chicken wings?
Yeah, you could. I
ghee?
would probably argue that the thing to do is like use tallow.
Tallow. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, like that would probably taste actually pretty awesome. But again, you're talking about that you're making something at the highest heat possible. No matter what you use, you're going to manipulate the oil. Yeah. That's why it's changing the way that it, goes from like tallow goes from solid and then it'll like, liquefy. But once you start seeing like little smoke and stuff like that, like that's it. Like you hit that point where you've changed its structure, so.
I kept the fat today from the ground meat in the pan. Mm-hmm. Can I consider that beef tallow? I put it in the fridge. It hardened up.
Kind of, yeah.
Yeah?
Uh-huh, yeah. Mm-hmm.
You like that move?
Yeah. Uh-huh.
Being resourceful there.
Yeah.
Instead of dumping it down the drain.
What did I make? Oh, when I made my bone broth. Before I make the broth, I roast all the bones because a lot of the bones still have like meat and little fat and stuff on it. So you roast it, like flash it, so it like crisps everything. Yeah, and, like hardens it, so that way it'll like maybe come off too, like in the broth. And I took all the bones off. I put it in the pot, and just I don't know, like 20, 30 minutes went by, 40 minutes went by with the pan. I literally was able to take a spatula and just like that, like smooth and just all fat, tallow. Mm-hmm. Yeah. It's unbelievable. Yeah. And I put it I saved it, but I have a whole bunch of tallow that I got to use. Yeah.
So you can get cleanly sourced organic chicken wings, or just cut them up with the scissors, make boneless wings, put them in the air fryer, or roast them, get a clean hot sauce, grass-fed butter. Mm-hmm. Now you're looking at almost a healthy meal versus a cheap meal that's going to set you back a week.
I would say the huge like unhealthy part, just because it's so drenched in it, it's the sauce. So if you can just like do like that's what we're using today. It's the Frank's hot sauce, the regular one. And it's all the ingredients are good on it. Yep. The stuff when people always come to me like, "Hey, what about this yogurt?" I'm like, "Great." When it's flavored, I just tell everyone like, don't
flavor it yourself.
Don't buy flavor. When you start buying flavors, it's usually something is like something is in there. Like 90% of the time, something's always being put in there. Yeah. So I always just say like the less you buy the flavor, the better it is.
Absolutely. Speaking of flavors, I've always been a big flavored coffee guy. Mm-hmm. Yeah. No, and now I'm done with flavors. I'm going just dark roast coffee, no added flavors. The other day I had a coconut coffee, and I used to love coconut coffee. Yeah, but it just tasted. I finally had an awakening to like flavored coffee, and it just tasted terrible.
That's your next level, like getting a good like coffee bean.
I just bought a $28 bag of coffee called Danger Coffee by Dave Asprey, who's the father of biohacking. It's got
What is it?
it's called Danger Coffee. It's got antioxidants in it. It's got minerals in it, and it's supposed to be mold free.
Nice.
And actually, I mixed it with MCT oil, and I've been blending my coffee, putting it in the blender, much like a frother would be. But it really impacts the flavor in a great way. I've been so enjoying my like blended coffee in the mornings.
MCT oils, really, with especially where you're at right now, you shed a lot off. That's awesome fuel for you. That's not for someone that's like, you know, they're just starting and you're trying to get them to like burn off things that they have stored in their body. That's a no-no, because as soon as you take the MCT oil in, it's ready to go. So it's like active fuel right away for you. Like, that's awesome. Yeah.
They make it from coconut oil. You know anything more about MCT oil?
I don't know where they.
I think it's from coconut oil.
Probably, yeah.
But it's flavorless. Another thing with the flavors is gum. I used to be the biggest flavored gum guy. Starburst, strawberry, juicy fruit flavors, just everything. As a referee, my referee bag was packed with the flavors. Now, you know, like 2 weeks after my awakening, I grabbed a pack of Trident. Look on the back, contains bioengineered food. I'm like, wow. This dial in is serious. It goes, it has a lot of other legs to it. So we need to dial in like our gum. So I bought Pure Gum. I think that's the brand, Pure. It's got it says aspartame free or kick aspartame. That's like their slogan. But they have a lot of good flavors. The gum is lasting 3 minutes, so don't expect to get like a ton of flavor. You're getting a quick burst of freshness, and then that's it. Dialed in my mints, same thing.
I used to love
Clean mints.
the zebra gum when I was growing up. Do you remember that? It was like the real like rainbow colored zebra packaging, and you open the gum, the flavor would last for 4.3 seconds, and then if you licked it and put it on your skin, it'd make like a tattoo. Yeah, that was like my favorite. My 4.5 seconds of flavored gum.
So my advice on Super Bowl Sunday is to not cheat. We just finished episode 6 about improving your relationship with cheat meals. Keep it simple today. Stay on program. You don't need to do anything sensational just because men are playing a football game and your friends are going to be there. Stay dialed in.
Yeah.
But we tried to give you a couple other healthy modifications of some of those popular foods.
My wife made my daughter like chicken tenders. They're basically like little mini like chicken nugget. They're like little chicken cutlets. That's basically what they were. She made them really, really good, and then she made her a dip, and the dip was she wanted to make Ava like a ranch dressing. So she made her a ranch dressing from scratch, and it's basically just Greek yogurt, salt, I forgot what else is in it, and dill weed. And it was unbelievable. And it's like, again, like ranch, blue cheese, all that stuff, like that's usually like that's where it starts getting crazy. It's the sauce on the wings, and it's the ranch and the blue cheese that you're dipping it in. It's all coated. That's, you know, and you're eating it at like 3 or 4, and then you're eating the second wave at like halftime, and you know, so I just think that stuff makes like a big difference, you know.
Absolutely.
What else am I having today? I don't think anything. Yeah, I don't think I'm just sticking to my hero. That's it.
I thought I was your hero.
You are my hero.
I'm one of them. So I think let's transition to our segment of the show called Catching the Buzz. Mark, we got 2 emails.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Can I read them on the show?
Go ahead.
Right. This is from Andrew Jewell. Thank you, Andrew. He says, good evening. I just finished listening to episode 1 of your new podcast. I've been following Crown Rest for a few years and been adapting the knowledge to my role as a referee in multiple sports. This new podcast is well-timed, and the audio quality is superb. Good job, Claudio. I enjoyed the content. Here are some concepts I took away from the episode. Protein is important in our diets, but more importantly, we should be focusing on the ingredients rather than the macros. The macros of food determine our composition and weight, but the ingredients determine how we look. Alcohol is bad. I've known this. I think you should do a whole episode later in the podcast on alcohol. Don't be afraid of viewership and stigma. Fear ought to be classed with stealing as it causes just as much trouble. Alcohol is one of the worst substances that proliferates our society. I've been sober for almost 2 years now. From weed and booze, it has changed my outlook on life completely. Asking someone to be sober is asking them to be a minority, as over 50% of adults partake in alcohol consumption. Another substance that is growing it takes consumption. Thanks for being vocal and expressing distaste for alcohol. Ending the podcast with emphasis on spinal work in the gym. Amazing. That's super important for me right now as I recover from a back injury that I sustained while playing water polo earlier in the fall. That's a hard sport, water polo.
Yeah, it's awesome.
Keep up the amazing work on and off the court. And he finished with, I love you, bro.
That's a good one.
Nice job, Andrew. Anything you want to say to Andrew?
I'm very glad that he watched that and, felt inspired by what we were speaking on and not just, paying attention to macros. And that's cool. Awesome.
Next one is from Kai Kenny. Hey, Paul, I've been following Crown Refs for a while. This was not a Crown Refs plug, but it was at the top of the email. By the way, Crown Refs just had their top performing video ever. Guess how many views we got? What do you think? Take a guess. 5,000. Oh, okay. That's still a lot of views. We just did a video at 4 million views on Facebook.
Wow.
Crazy. I mean, wild, bro. I mean, I've had a couple videos that did 1 million, but I woke up one day, a couple weeks, or it was about a week and a half ago, and I see 1,200 new followers on Facebook. I'm like, wow, we must have a video doing well. It had 3.3 in a day.
Wow.
I'm not even posting the content. Shout out to Joe Long from Texas, who's in Crown Refs, who is handling our Facebook account. And he's literally posting all old videos from my TikTok. He goes and searches like some of the top performing TikToks, and then he sends them over to Facebook. And they're just destroying right now. So thank you, Joe. Yeah,
it's a lot of views.
But that's a lot of views too. So we never focus on views. If you want to get a lot of views and have an impact, you do it by not focusing on that at all. So, so thank you for all the wonderful information you share. The community that you fostered has helped me be a better ref. I've been on my own health journey for a while now. I started reffing when I was over 300 pounds. During this time, I was not taking care of myself. I was an alcoholic. Currently, I'm 163 pounds, no alcohol for 5 years. And in April, no alcohol 5 years. And in April, I've been vegetarian for 4 years. I've been really focusing on all the ingredients to my food and really dial it in, as it's more than just the physical health created by the food we eat and our habits. Thank you for continuing and sharing your journey as I feel motivated to crush obstacles on my path more than ever before. Please share my thanks with Mark and Claudio as well. He didn't mention you, but I mentioned you, so we mentioned you. I was curious if either of you have had any suggestions on clean food to increase protein, but maintain the vegetarian diet. Yeah. I do eat eggs currently, and my daily routine is fasting till 3, protein shake, nuts, and fruit. 4 eggs with veggies and beans, and then a yogurt bowl, protein powder, PB Fit, homemade granola. Again, thank you for the inspiration that you are both fueling for so many. Good job, Mark.
So he eats eggs?
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, that's fine. He's getting eggs in. That gets him some good aminos in. He should look into a protein supplement. That's just for, like, you can get it on Naked. This is pea protein. That's when you're getting deficient in things and it's hard. That's where you want to start supplementing something. That's where you're going to get a benefit as really supplementing something. You're either doing it because you're deficient or you're doing it for timing. That's what drinking a protein shake really is for.
I say this respectfully, but I feel like being vegetarian is nutritionally irresponsible because philosophically you have beliefs.
Yeah, it can be very irresponsible if you don't do it right.
Like, it's an emotional decision. I don't feel it's a nutritious decision.
Yeah.
What do you think?
It depends on lifestyle, depends on physical activity. If you're going for the more someone is active the way that you are, you need more like potent doses of
I like when you
nutrition.
say potent
Yeah.
doses too. You said that a couple
do.
times on the show.
The longest living organisms in this world move.
Yeah, they're slow.
Yeah, exactly.
Low and slow.
They're constantly moving.
Steady and slow. Slow
They're
and steady.
constantly moving. Constantly. But very, 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 very slow intensity. So that's kind of how I view, if you're a vegetarian, you should mimic that type of physical activity. If you're someone more active, then, the eggs and then supplementing things. It can be very, with anything, any diet, but with that one, it can be very irresponsible if you do not know what you're doing and you are not paying attention to what you're not getting from X, Y, and Z. It can be very, very detrimental long term. The issue with it is that like that immediate the feeling that you have when you do it, because you're probably not eating Doritos, cheeseburgers from a bar with French fries, and you don't feel the symptoms of eating bad food like that, so you feel actually good. But in terms of the long-term longevity of like muscle tissue, cognitively how you're feeling, you got to make sure you're doing it the right way. I've seen people do it well and do it the right way. It's just you have to know what you're doing. You can get they can get the protein in. You can get plant protein in. It's just different. It all depends on your physical activity. I think it's a huge factor.
You want to know what I say to my immune system when I start to feel symptoms? So a couple weeks ago, 2 times at work in the last couple weeks, you feel like a little cough or you feel something in the chest, slight sluggishness. You feel like something could be brewing.
Yeah.
So in those moments, I take time to download basically like antivirus software to my brain. So as I start to feel it, here's what I say to the sickness. I say, hey, how you doing? I don't know who you are. I don't know what you're doing here.
Yeah.
But my recommendation is you should exit my body immediately or my immune system about to F you up.
Yeah.
I'm calling in the dogs, the heavies.
You could that helps. Like thinking like that, it helps.
And I dropped a big F-bomb too. I did not censor my self-talk. And a couple hours later, there's nothing.
Yeah.
I mean, it's amazing. Incredible stuff, guys. You should try this at home. If you feel a sickness, just curse it out.
No, if I'm not mistaken, I could be wrong. I thought Andrew Huberman spoke about a study or two, or I could be wrong. I don't think I am. I'm pretty sure I was reading this, that you can mentally work yourself up into getting sick.
Yeah.
And that goes both ways. So I think mental strength, maybe you're going to get sick, but I do think it can help. I feel like that sometimes. So I just like know, I'm like, and I get into my head, and then sure enough, I'm like, I'm gonna get sick. Yeah, I'm gonna get sick. But then
you gotta make that
when
change.
I think the way that you think, I also am now hyper focused on it. So I'm like in my head, I'm like zinc, vitamin C, zinc, vitamin C, zinc, vitamin C, and I'm like taking like my multi in the morning, taking my multi at night. I'm making sure I'm hydrated. I'm basically making sure my body is not stressed at all. Like my gut's not stressed. I'm not dehydrated. I'm sleeping well. So that way I know whatever is coming in, like my body's ready to go to war with it and like not even maybe let it get in, So
then that negative voice starts creeping in saying, oh, you're going to miss work. You're going to miss your game later. You're not going to be strong enough to work out later. And I just meet that with offense.
Yeah.
Try to not stop moving. Try to not act and feel like it's about to get sick. I'm going on with my day. I am not getting sick. I'm going to push through this. This is a 2-hour delay, pretty much. And then we're back to normal. So it's just amazing, like the power of the mind. And your brain is always listening to your talk. That's why I'm so big on self-talk, because your brain is eavesdropping on the words that you're saying, and they're communicating directly to one another. So we just want to build yourself with just positive self-talk, nonstop,
Like
unwavering.
You see a lot of athletes will get sick. You saw a few of them get really sick. These are very healthy, in shape individuals. A few of them got really sick during COVID, and a lot of people are like, oh, how can they get sick? Oh my God, how can they get sick? One of the things my nutrition professor taught me is that like people who do like Ironman challenges, Ironman athletes, that race is so long and so intense that your body's getting so depleted that is when you are susceptible to getting sick from any little bacteria or a virus that comes in, any pathogen that comes in your path. When you're susceptible, it is so easy for you to get sick. So one of the things that he spoke about was that if you are exposed and like you are about to be sick, you are sick, those Ironman athletes, they need like super high doses of vitamin C because 100% like they're going to be so depleted. So my point was when COVID was going on, a few MMA guys got like really sick, and it's not surprising because those guys are training 3 times a day to insane dehydration that they're susceptible because they're so depleted and so down. You're talking about they're training for 3 hours and then they have to eat. They didn't even eat yet. You know what I mean? They're incinerating every nutrient that's in their body. So it's easy. It's actually easy for them that when they do get sick, that whatever gets in there to really like get in their immune system and mess them up. So the more active you are, the more depleted you get, you have to make sure you nourish. So it's not as easy as being like, oh, I'm healthy. I'm not going to get sick. If you're in that window of time where you're doing a workout and I'm like, all right, Paul, go finish another 35 minutes. You're doing max heart rate for 8 sets and you're just like depleted. You worked all day. You are more susceptible to getting sick in that moment until you start nourishing again. Yeah. Or if you're dehydrated, it takes you 72 hours to get rehydrated again. Yeah.
It's like when a goon like sneaks into the club and he didn't know that the whole security squad was waiting for him. They're about to get him out of here.
That's your immune system.
Yeah. So just wanted to share that with our dialed in squad. Sorry to interrupt the podcast. Just wanted to thank you for being here and joining us on this journey. The fact that you're here shows your commitment to your own transformation, and that's something you should celebrate. We're here to help you every step of the way, and we want to hear from you. So if you have questions or thoughts or breakthroughs that you want to share, reach out to us directly at thedialedinpodcast@gmail.com or hit us up on any one of your socials. Now, let's get back to the podcast. Mark, I did a 42-hour fast this week.
How was it?
It was great. It was great, and at the end, it got a little hard because I was a little depleted. But I felt like I needed to increase my muscle strength. Like I said, fasting for me is a muscle, and I've been doing 22 hours. I've gotten to 23, but I haven't made it the entire 24 where I actually sleep through the night, which creates 36, and then by the time lunch rolls around, we're at 42. It's so funny. I was not hungry at all. Right before I broke fast, 42 hours in, I'm like, I'm not hungry. This is crazy. First day I felt great. Second day morning felt great. And then I got to work.
Just water though, right?
Yeah, just water. And I did have the MCT oil, so I know that might impact it a little bit.
Yeah, it would. Yeah. Just like what we were talking about last time. It's just that fuel is ready to go.
Yeah.
So, I don't know, you were on a 24-hour fast at that point or 12 hours, whatever it is. When you ingest that, it's like, all right, your body stops going through whatever naturally was going on and just grabs that. And it's like, all right, let me burn that off. And then when you run out, then it goes back into what's my body doing hormonally? What can it do for me right now?
So second day I got into work, that's when I just got really tired. I got pretty depleted. I was waiting for like that extra energy source to kick in because I know if you look at the hour by hour, they say after the 24 hours is when you start to tap into like new storage. And not to say it would be like that every time I did it. I'm sure if I did it more, I would start to maybe get the benefits of it. But it was hard for a few hours. So I felt real skinny, felt slow, skinny and slow. I felt lean and lazy.
Yeah.
I felt slim and sluggish.
Yeah, you're getting to that point where you're getting very lean. You're gonna run into that, like what you're normally used to. Say when you're 10 pounds heavier, 8 pounds heavier, that's what would have happened. Like you would have kicked in, like, all right, what can my body grab? You're getting to that point where you're getting lean.
Mm-hmm.
That's not going to be able to happen as efficiently.
Yeah,
your body's going to be. It's going to fight. It's going to start fighting and saying, I don't know if I should keep grabbing this. Like I'm getting pretty low, and then you don't want to. God forbid you're too lean. You don't want your visceral fat, like the fat that's around your organs. You do not want that to be. That's a no-no. Mm-hmm. Now you're in survival mode, like extreme survival mode.
It worked out well though, because my Miller's Bio Farm order was waiting for me right at the time of my breaking my fast. So I broke it actually with raw milk.
Nice. Oh yeah, that's nice.
Bro, I went to the bathroom 3 minutes later, and my stomach was empty.
Yeah,
I'm like, wow, this is the raw milk.
You had nothing.
Sorry to share that on the show, but I thought it was interesting.
I usually don't go. I don't have that. Me personally, I don't have that effect from it. Like I think you had an empty stomach.
So empty.
Yeah, and then like consume that, and it probably like hydrated your intestines a little bit.
My
too
body
for
was
you.
like, who's this guy?
Yeah.
I've never seen him in my life.
Yeah. But I don't get that. Like I don't know. I don't. Oh my God, I gotta go to the bathroom.
I mean, I've had it 6 times since, so we're good. But just wanted to.
Yeah, like normally, that's what I'm saying. I don't know if it was like because of what you did, but like normally, I don't. I'm like, oh my God, I don't have any stomach issues. I don't.
Yeah.
How I know like if something's like bothering me like bad is how frequently like I'm going to the bathroom, and then like if you have gas like and it smells, that's usually something's irritating you. Mm-hmm. But sometimes it can be from over ingestion of protein in general, just because it's not like processing all the way and it's sitting in your stomach. That will create that, you know.
I had a nice meal, broke the fast, and then I made my way out to Connecticut for a 7:30 game. Felt great. Mm-hmm. So that was my experience with the 42-hour fast, no food. Yeah.
So I want to go over. So when you fast, because it's the same thing, like when I'm working with people, I'm trying to get their body to do what's happening in your fast.
Thank you.
Yeah. For them and their lifestyle, I'm just like expanding it. I'm not having them like shrink it all into 24 hours, like get your body to deplete glycogen and then transition to fat. But I try to just transition people into that slowly through their diet, which is, can I lower their carb intake a little bit for the next, 2 weeks, just a little, nothing crazy. That way I know that they don't have as much glycogen as they normally would, because I'm trying to get them to transition over into, can they burn some fat off as well? So what you're doing is, because you're not ingesting anything, just water or whatever, and the shape that you're in right now, the muscle mass that you have, like that 0 to 12 hour window of no food, like your body's like, what carbs do I have? What carbs do I have? Do I have carbs in my muscle? Do I have carbs in my liver? And it's going to tap that out. Now it's gone. Now your body goes to the next thing, which is, can I have some fat? The good thing is, when you're going about your day and you're working or you're sitting at your desk, you're aerobic right now, meaning you're using oxygen. That's good for fat. That your body will use fat during that process. If you're insanely depleted, though, say you're on, 30 hours fast, and I don't know, there's an emergency at school, and you have to sprint upstairs, 5 flights of stairs, and then sprint back down.
I could do that quickly.
Yeah, you can, but your heart rate's shooting up, right? Now your body's trying to use glycolysis instead. It wants sugar instead because it's quick.
By the way, I don't walk upstairs. I only run upstairs.
Yeah, I like that.
Thank you.
That's what Bruce Lee would say to do.
For sure.
Stand on one foot, brushing your teeth, park far away from wherever you're walking. Don't take the elevator. Run upstairs. Yeah.
The GOAT.
So in a case like that, like if you have no short aggressive fuel like carbs, and your heart rate skyrockets, that's when things, you start getting a little like, it's not, you don't have a fuel source to fuel that high intensity. So what I'm saying is, for what you're doing, like, going about your day, you're working, fasted, burn through all your glycogen. Like, I'm trying to get people to do that, be in a state of, you have really low carbs, and you're aerobic. You're sitting at your desk, you're on the phone, everything's chill, everything's kosher. Yeah. Now your body's gonna like use some fat, but what normally happens, people just like, they snack on, I'm having a yogurt and then I have some honey in it, which is fine. It's just that when they ingest that honey, glycogen, again, now your body's going to like most likely burn that off. So what you're doing is just the short condensed version of, I'm trying to get people to tap into transitioning to fat burning. I'm trying to get them to not use carbohydrates. Everyone's using carbohydrates all the time because they're over ingesting it. And because they always have a whole bunch of it. So their body actually doesn't even know what to do when they run out, how to use fat. It doesn't even know like how to do it effectively.
Gets confused.
It just doesn't, it has like no muscle memory of, I can use this energy source. How do I use it? I never use this because I always have a shit ton of glycogen, stored in my muscle. I have glucose going through my bloodstream. I can use that. So what you're doing is, in this 40-hour window, which this is very intense what Paul's doing, by the way.
Thank you.
Very, very intense. You're teaching for 40 hours probably, or 20 hours, let's cut it in half when the glycogen runs out. For 20 hours a day, your body's learning how to, this is how I burn fat. This is how I break it down, and this is how I fuel myself doing it. A lot of people's metabolisms don't know how to do that. So even if they did jump right into that, it would stress them out very, very badly right away. So you have to wean people into building up a tolerance like that. So that's what I do. I try to fix someone's diet, and then I do a 90-minute workout with someone, and then I make sure when I know that they don't really have any of that glycogen left, then I put them and have them do like some sort of aerobic fitness, because I'm trying to expose them at the end of their workout for only 20 minutes. I'm teaching your body for 20 minutes. This is how you need to use fat metabolism. Mm-hmm. What you're doing is you're teaching your body very well how to do that. Yeah. That's basically what you're trying to get out of. And then fasting gets into autophagy, killing, killing, damaged cells and, stuff like that. That's really where the fasting starts getting deep. Yeah.
Highly recommend fasting, as we've spoken about multiple times, but I think it's also the number one top way to lose weight. Number one, you should be putting that first at your list, but I think it's also the best way to improve your emotional relationship with food, which is so important down this dialed in journey.
I think it's a big wake up call. I think it really, if people have the right perspective, I made one of my clients do. I said, listen, he was going for a long drive. He had to drive 6-7 hours to, another state. He had to go somewhere for the holidays. I said, listen, you're going to be really aerobic. Just going to be sitting in your car, not doing much, not working out, not exercising, just sitting in your car, listening to music. Try a fast today. And you're going to do it. Wake up, like your last meals when you eat, at 8 p.m., go to sleep. That's it. Just water if you want. I'm like, you can have a little bit of bone broth, but I'm like, that's it. I'm like, I want you to see your emotional habits with how much you actually do want to eat every 2.5, 3 hours. And I said, I just want you to see that, because I said every time that happens and you eat, you're stopping potentially that process of maybe that your body's like, when it's like, I want more. Maybe your body would have actually started like using fat for energy instead. So I just I do think it's an awesome tool to reset hormonal response for people and to give them some awareness on how, emotional they actually are with constantly eating and snacking on things. And I think it wakes that process up. Yeah.
You ready for Paulie D's nutritious nugget of the day?
Yes, I am.
The first one was food as a tool. By the way, I showed that to my kids yesterday. They thought your outro when you said, I want a 20-piece Paulie D nuggets. My daughter was like, oh my God, Mark is hilarious. He's so funny. I wanted to send you her reaction, but of course, when I recorded her, that's when she calmed down. She was like, I'm not doing that for you.
Yeah.
But here's the nutritious nugget of the day. There's no such thing as annoying. Annoyance isn't about them. It's about you. No one and nothing is inherently annoying. That person, that delay, that inconvenience, they're just happening. Your reaction is what creates the frustration. Mary in the office isn't annoyed. Mary in the office isn't annoying. You chose to feel annoyed. The traffic isn't annoying. Your lack of patience is triggering the feeling. The long checkout line isn't annoying. It's an opportunity to slow down and breathe. Here's the truth. You're in control of your happiness. Don't hand over your emotional real estate to frustration and negativity. Instead, reframe your mindset. When you refuse to file something as an annoyance, it loses its power over you. The next time you feel it creeping in, pause, shift your perspective. Choose peace over frustration. Choose control over reaction. Choose happiness because it's always been yours to own. There's no such thing as being annoyed.
I like it.
Okay.
Yeah, I try to practice that on a regular basis.
I mean, how many times do you hear people say, "Oh, that's so annoying. He's so annoying. She's no annoying."
Yeah.
No, it's you.
Yeah.
It's your reaction.
Yeah, I just think I try to I talk a lot about this with different people and like clients and stuff, just hearing different people's perspective on things. And I don't know, I just feel like it really is. At the end of the day, I just feel like if anyone says something, does something, and I don't know if it's about sports, whether it's about politics, whatever it is, I don't know. I just feel like you, the individual, you give meaning to the things that you are hearing and what is being said.
That's exactly right.
To you. You know what I mean? I'm not saying that you can't disagree with something. I'm not saying that you can't be hurt by something, whatever. But I just feel like that if you call me, I don't know, you can call me a bad name right now.
I would never. I don't call people bad names.
You know what I mean? Like, you could say whatever. Whether what you're saying is, I either make it real and emotional, or I just sit there and I just, oh, all right, cool,
respond.
Yeah, thanks. Like I don't give any meaning to it. You know what I mean? I just feel that, and I think people, we have habits and been programmed like that in a way over time of like growing up. But I just feel like we give so much. I've been going to jujitsu, man, and like that's what it's taught me. Like, we have no idea who's out on the street, who can, torque your body into a pretzel and break all of your limbs, and they don't need to say a word. And like that, like I just see that stuff, and like I've always been in shape and been athletic. I've always tried to I love boxing, and I'm going to this place, man. And I'm like, it doesn't matter how anyone looks in here. And you want to know what I notice in there? No one talks shit. Because there's no talk. You know what I mean?
They sound happy.
No, dude, there's no talk. There's zero talk. I did like the trainer at my gym. Shout out to Demetrius. I'm just like busting chops with him because we wind up seeing he likes and does jujitsu, and I'm like, yeah, I love it. I watch so much of it, but I never really practice it like that, like ever. And I'm just like bullshitting with him, like jabbing at him, kind of like talking shit to him a little bit, like messing around. And I'm like, oh no, bro, you can't roll around with me. Little do I know, he's been doing it for years, and he's a purple belt. And when I reflected on it, I'm like, he wasn't even responding to anything I was saying, because there's no need for him giving me any emotion and talking back to me and being like, oh no, I can do this for you. So like in that place, man, there's no talk. It's just like, yeah, you go in there and we don't need to talk. We're gonna, it's very humbling. I really enjoyed it. And it's just taught me to just like really shut my ego off, man. Because it doesn't matter how anyone looks in there. Maybe some people are like out of shape. Some people do nothing in fitness. That's the only thing that they do, and they work at a desk all day or whatever, and it doesn't matter. So it's really taught me to just like suppress my ego, because my ego got suppressed quick. So I met up with Demetrius like one morning, and I rolled around with him, and I mean, as soon as he grabbed me, I was like, I am in deep trouble. I am not in Kansas anymore. Yeah. So I've been like, shh, like it's like really just like chilled like my ego out, man. Because it's just like, you don't know who's capable of stuff like that, you know? So it's been cool.
We all have egos. I think the skill and the humility part is how often do you expose it, right? Like you keep it quiet, or do other people see and hear your ego? I don't want people to see or hear my ego. I want to keep it just to me, you know, and not bottle it up, right? Speaking of the individual who could just destroy another human, Jill locked her gym a couple weeks ago, so I had to go around the back through the jiu-jitsu studio. Yeah. It was on a Sunday. They were like the only ones in the building. So you had the sensei there with a couple students. So I'm knocking on the glass like, hey, how you doing? He's like, he comes over, opens the door. Yes, how can I help you? Yeah. So calm and disciplined and gentle. Dude. I said, I got locked out. Would you allow me to go through your door so I can go to my gym? He goes, yes, right this way. Follow me. He was so calm and gentle. But I'm just like, this guy is a silent warrior. If I messed with him, he would snap me instantly.
Dude, you have no idea.
Instant.
That's the highest place, the highest level place around here, too, the place that you walk in.
Yeah? Yo, he was mad peaceful, too.
That is the highest level place out there right now. Yeah. It's just the guy who owns that, and if I'm not mistaken, I think he's like top 10. Yeah. I think he got injured or something, so he's a little hurt right now, and he hasn't competed. I'm not sure. I don't know. But he's top level. He's like cream of the crop. It is no joke. And like that, dude, that's what I learned. Like I rolled around with a few people, and I've rolled with different like levels now, like white belts, blue belts,
purple belts, watch who you roll around with.
Black belt. Dude, you have no idea. Like you're not, I want you to come one day because I just want you to see and feel it.
I don't want to get put in a headlock.
No, I think you need to feel what that's.
I don't want my face on the ground and someone's knee in my neck.
You need to feel what that. What if you get put in that situation, man? What if someone?
Then my catecholamines are going to kick in.
Yeah, bro. No. What if someone?
That's my fight or flight.
Gets
neurons, right?
Yeah.
Hormones.
What if someone just like puts you in that type of danger of your safety? You should know how to do that stuff, dude.
I mean, I don't ever want to get into a physical altercation, but if I ever were, now would be the time I would probably feel best doing it.
It teaches you humility too, with like putting your hands on someone. Back, before this stuff, it was like, oh, I gotta fight and I gotta like hurt someone. No, dude, they're teaching you how to not hurt someone. They're teaching you how to like hold someone and have humility of that. Like I can snap your arm in half right now, but I'm not going to do that. I'm going to wait till the authorities come here and, and take you out of here. I don't need to, I don't need to test my ego. You know what I mean? Yeah. I don't need to do that. That's what it's taught me. And it doesn't matter what they look like and who. That's what I love about the community over there, dude. It's just like humility, because people know like, yeah, I can fold you like a lawn chair right now. But I'm not gonna tell you that, and I'm not gonna do that.
They're too humble to tell you that,
dude. It's unbelievable. It's like beautiful. It's one of the most amazing. I think everyone should be tinkering with that to learn humility, especially physically and like fighting. I wish I did it when I was younger, dude. Mm-hmm. It's unbelievable. Yeah. It's so cool. Oh, I'll bring you over there.
I knew you'd like that.
I'll bring you over there. Think about it. You just get to lay and just hug you for an hour while wrestling you.
I do like hugging you. I do it every Sunday.
Just like a nice little like hug, like head.
I'm just not gonna hug you and roll around with you.
Dude.
I'll do a jiu-jitsu workout though.
Dude, that's what it is.
But minus the contact.
Dude, you're not
free of contact.
You're not gonna be like put in like a. That's not what's gonna happen.
Make a choke.
I mean, I might throw you in that a little bit, but I don't know. But I think you'd be really good because you're strong. Yeah. And you move around differently. And
listen, what I'm doing today isn't necessarily what I'll be doing in a year. So you never know how these things play out.
Dude, it can help you when you're officiating. What if an altercation happens?
Oh, I had one the other night. A fan ran onto the court and pushed a player.
Now what? And you were
I got out of
I'm
the way.
out.
There was too
I'm
many
out.
people on the court.
I'm out. I just got my order at Miller's, and I got to get home later. So I want to be.
NBA referees get paid hundreds of thousands of dollars. If a fight happens, they got to break that up.
Yeah.
You know, at the college and high school level, if there's a crowd of people that are running
Yeah,
at
it's
a high
unsafe.
speed in a small area, you got to think safety first.
Yeah.
So that was one of those times where my gut just said, just stand back and watch what happens.
Yep. That's crazy.
And then go over and tame, throw out a couple fires at the end, a couple sparks. Yeah, it was wild.
Wow.
Mark, I don't want to hold you up. I know you have a big Sunday of cooking, with your breadcrumbs that have canola oil in it. But anything you want to say before we go drop the kids off?
Happy Sunday. Happy Super Bowl Sunday. Listen, try to eat clean, try to be dialed in, but don't let that immediately irritate your mental health for the day and stress you out one thing, at a time. That's what we're doing here. We're just trying to show healthier ways, different ways to look at the chessboard, but don't, one thing at a time. You can't beat yourself up and rush this overnight. It's a process, and keep tuning in, and we're gonna do the best of our ability to make that process smoother and smoother and smoother for you as we go forward.
Well said.
Yep.
And if they can get through these occasions like Super Bowl, like birthday parties, like holidays, if you can eat clean through these events, you're going to be very successful at this, because this is the hardest part.
Yeah.
That's why on a day like today, I'm staying firm and unwavering and trying to just motivate people to stay locked in. We don't have to cheat just because it's an event.
Mm-hmm. I know someone who works for a specific
I have a friend.
soda company, right? So a lot of big awareness is going on. And I was saying to him, because you could definitely see like a decline, if I'm not mistaken, you could see a decline in sales in a lot of like these soda beverages, right? I said, rather than be resistant, I said, lean into why that's happening. Like, go there and like talk about, we need to lean into they need to lean into our demographic. I go to one of the farms, right? The reason why I go there, they have the bus, they make like real, like straight up farm barbecue. And there's an Italian guy who's straight from Italy that works at this farm, speaks broken English. I'm assuming because he works there, he told them, like, you should get this soda here. And it's an Italian soda, and there's 2 ingredients in it. Like, it's clean, and it's not blasted with 60, 70 grams of sugar. I think it's like 30-something grams of, sugar. Still a lot, right? But I'm talking about someone that's, going in the summer, getting some barbecue food, and they want a soda too. Like, that's a clean one. So I was like saying, like, all these companies now, they should be leaning into that people are looking at stuff and they're more aware, because I would buy it. If it's clean, when I make tacos, I get the Siete brand. They have like a really clean one. I think it's usually in the fridge, but sometimes when the Chico's doesn't have it. But I get their stuff like when I make tacos because it's clean. You know what I mean? They should lean into that demographic. And I think a lot of these, oh, you can't eat that stuff. You can't eat that stuff. They should open up that demographic and talk to people like you and me, because I'd buy it.
It's margins, though.
No, yeah. But what I'm saying is, if that, like, they're definitely getting affected by this stuff. Like, they are. It's not how it was 5 years ago. You can see it like in the sales. You can look at their market caps and be like, something's like, you guys aren't doing, the same of what you were doing.
I think they're running out of time, all of them. I think if you come back, we wake up in 30 years and we go to a grocery store. If you tell me Doritos are still in its current form on the shelves, I would have a hard time believing that, because I think we are going to learn so much more in these next couple decades. It's going to be so obvious to even middle America and the average person that this is so unproductive and harmful for our bodies.
They need, what would really hurt them are the foundational, are the big wholesale things that they're doing. And if you look at who that's going to, it's children's schools, it's school, and it's hospitals. I just can't. Every time I go to a hospital, and whether it was when my wife was, had the baby, if someone else had a baby, or if someone was sick, and I go to the hospital, and I'm like, people are sick right now, or my wife is depleted. She just had a baby. She is insanely depleted right now. When you go to these places and see
sick
the availability of what someone is eating at a hospital when they're in their weakest moment is so mind-boggling to me. Like not even like a good ginger ale, like ginger ale, first ingredient, high fructose corn syrup.
It's sick, Mark.
And that's me. Like I can entertain the whole. All right, I'll entertain that someone's dehydrated and depleted because they just had a baby, or they're sick and they've been sweating profusely, they have a fever and they need to get hydrated. The two things that hydrate you really, really well are carbohydrates and sodium. So I can I can entertain like, well, they need the carbohydrates, but not in that potent dose of, high fructose corn syrup. And you're talking about 70 grams in a 12-ounce bottle of soda, you know what I mean? And then the food that they're bringing up, that's when things are they're going to be like, oh, we need to like change our tune with this stuff, because they have all of that, all those big programs. They have hospitals, they have schools, prisons, they have all that stuff. That's like a big chunk of, I'm not talking about like you go to the Yankee game, you get a soda. I'm not talking about that, because you're not going to control that stuff as much. People want to go to the game, drink a beer, that's fine. But that stuff, when our kids are developing and people are sick in a hospital, that's insane to me.
Like, look at cigarettes. You used to be able to smoke in a mall, in a restaurant, everywhere.
Yeah.
Everyone smoked. Look at like black and white clips.
Yep.
Everyone is smoking.
Yeah.
People woke up. Kids don't smoke nowadays. They do vape way more.
Yeah.
But nobody smoke. Kids don't really smoke cigarettes anymore.
Yeah.
I would think it's due to the health awareness.
Yeah.
Years and years and years of it. So I do see a similar thing and shift happening with food. It's just going to take time, and we need hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of voices. So me and Mark are just two, and we're trying to inspire our community and anyone else that will listen and kind of go on this path with us. So
yeah, it just became a big. It's a big systemic. It's gonna take a lot of. I can't go into. I'm moving in across the street from the high school that I went to. It's not as easy as me going in there, them hiring me and being like, "Hi, we want all healthy food for our kids." It's it's not an easy adjustment. You're talking about, hey, this is going to cost twice the amount of money right now per year. Can we fit that in the budget? So it's an uncomfortable thing. But my thing is like we, spend money on so much stuff. Taxpayer money, whatever. We're spending money on so much stuff, and there are things that are non-negotiables, like the safety of your town, stuff like that, right? That stuff needs to be a non-negotiable. Personally, for me, I think it needs to be. Yeah.
Claudio, anything you want to share with us before going? Thank you for your amazing hospitality thus far.
Thanks, Claudio.
Thank you, Claudio. All right, let's get into our podcast close for the day. Food is fuel, not an emotional experience. The more we stray away from the romanticized connection to food, the easier it becomes to make better choices. We've been conditioned, trained by food scientists who design hyper-palatable, addictive products to crave and indulge without control. But when you eliminate these food-like substances, something powerful happens. You stop desiring them. Imagine breaking free from the cycle. No more fantasizing about the next indulgent. No more feeling trapped by cravings. No more emotional addiction to food. When you master this, everything changes. Your energy, your clarity, your self-discipline. And the best part, it doesn't just get easier. It becomes enjoyable. So start today. Take back control. Strip away the emotion and redefine what food means to you. The breakthroughs will come. The transformation will follow. Stay locked in. Stay disciplined. Stay dialed in. And until next time, Mr. Vaccaro, I love you, bro.
Love you, bro.
Thank you for listening to the Dialed In podcast. We hope you enjoyed this episode. We want to hear from you and help you even more. So please reach out and connect with us at the dialedinpodcast@gmail.com or hit us up on one of our social media accounts. And remember to stay dialed in and choose to have the most amazing rest of your day.